The Express.
What's up, everybody? We are back on the Express Pod. Got the boys back together. Doing a little bit of like a unique episode for us. A little trial and error here, wanting to get our listeners, our viewers involved. So we're doing a little bit of a mailbag, if you will, answering questions from fans. Some are funny, some are serious. Just diving into some things that y'all are interested in hearing about. That way we can stay connected with y'all and we can start to give y'all some of the content that y'all want. So to get us started, we appreciate all the everybody chiming in with all these questions. We got a ton of questions to get through. So Mason, you're the main man. Lay it on us.
Yeah, I'm going to be starting the show off. So first question that we got is, mailman here. Mason
the mailman.
First question we got is, what was your experience like at Vandy? What made you choose it? And what was it like being a student athlete there?
I wasn't really heavily recruited. So Vanderbilt was one of my main options just because they had some interest. And when I went and visited, kind of fell in love with their process of expectations and standards, right? Like Corb's big message was, you're going to get better here as a man and as a player, and we're going to win. And that's all I needed to hear. So I was sold on that vision. And then obviously being in Nashville, it's like its own unique experience compared to other SEC schools. Most SEC schools aren't in big cities. They're in college towns. So it gives a little bit of a unique perspective in that regard. And then we also we're a private school. We have, 4,000 kids that go there. And it's a unique challenge in its own right, being there, just with school and some of the athletic programs. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. Obviously, had a lot of great teams and kind of went from somebody that no one really thought was any good to more or less who I am today. And so I owe a lot of pretty much all of my success to Corbs and the Vanderbilt baseball program.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of, you hear people talk about Vandy baseball, and it's just like nothing but good things, especially revolving around Corbs. So that's a big one. Mitch, we got a question for you coming in from the mailman.
Let's go.
It says,
lock in.
I guess it's for both of us. The question is, what is it like to have one of your best friends be a professional athlete?
Okay. It's definitely gotten used to it now. But when he first got in the league, it's always just been weird though, because we've just known him forever. So to us, it's the same dude, right? But when we're out eating and you can just feel people staring at you and stuff. But Dansby, we literally had a bachelor pad with 4 of us living in it when Dansby got called up to the bigs. So
yeah,
it's always been pretty chill. He's the same dude. And that's what I always tell people. I'm he's the same dude he was when we were growing up. He's just always one of the boys. But yeah, being in public places and I'm all right, don't act like too much of an idiot. I'm with Dansby.
Yeah,
what I do impacts him.
Yeah. Now I don't want him guilty by association of me doing some dumb things. I just save those
That's
for
funny.
When I'm by myself.
Other times. Yeah. I would say the same thing. I don't think it really set in, or I don't know. I forget. Not that I don't forget, but it's Dansby, So I feel like I do forget sometimes. And then when we are out places and people come up to him or whatever, that's when it's I think the first time it really, really set in was when we all went out somewhere. I think it may have been Stockyard or something like that. And people were trying to come up to you. And I was or people were coming up to you in Statesboro. And I was like, oh, this is this is a lot different than what I keep forgetting that he's who he is. But
I just remember right when he got called into the league, we went to Target or something down the street from the house. And someone's like, why are you at Target? He's like, I need things.
I need toilet paper, homie.
I still got to go to the store, bro. And then I was a photographer for the next 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, once one happens, the floodgates.
It always it's that first person, and then it's everyone's oh, bet.
Next question is, what is the meaning behind your jersey number?
Man, it's wild. I've never worn 7. I'd always worn 5
No ma.
because of Nomar. Yeah, no
No
my.
ma.
I'd always worn 5, and then when I got to college, we didn't get to pick our numbers. So Corbs gave me 7. I guess he thought that I was a 7, and gave me 7, and just kind of stuck with me ever since then. Just kind of became yeah, I'm number 7 fits me and my personality. So it just kind of Corbs gave it to me, and I guess the number just chose me. That's kind of how I look at it.
All right. Next question we got is, do you all think that travel ball is a must for kids that have aspirations to play in college?
Yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
if it is yes, at what age? I agree with you.
mean,
I do think it is.
I think the key is just playing the best competition, right? So in high school, you might have a couple good players on each team, but I know for Dansby, when he went to summer ball and he's playing, he thrived playing with the best of the best competition. And that's what you're going to be ultimately compared to if you're trying to especially go play high level college baseball too, is all right, these are the kids Dansby's probably played against the same kids his whole life, just from all these tournaments and stuff. And they're the same cats that are he's playing against in the league right now. It's
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say yes. I think that there's a right way to do it and a right age to do it. I mean, I would say once you get into middle school is kind of when you would start doing some summer ball, or not summer ball, but travel ball. And I don't know how exactly it works nowadays, but even in middle school, I would still temper expectations on scheduling. Just because last thing you want to be doing when you're in 6th, 7th grade, or you should be doing, is playing 120 games from freaking May to
August
till first part of school. Yes. I think that there's a right and a wrong way to do it. Now, obviously, once you get into high school, I think it's an absolute must, and I hope that we can kind of reverse course on how we're treating travel ball as the ultimate moneymaker and the perfect game showcase kind of thing. Because I think playing is important. I think learning how to handle yourself is important. Instead of just show up and play, learn how to get prepared for a game and almost be a pro at a younger age. And that way you can learn how to interact with your teammates, learn how to show up on time, have responsibilities, and not just show up, play, and then go join this other team this next weekend and go play, or only looking out for yourself, kind of buying something, buying into something more than just looking out for your own interests.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, I definitely think that once you get to that certain age, and we talk about it all the time, right? Especially when you're growing up, if you're the best person on your team, you probably need to look somewhere else because you don't really have anybody to challenge you, and you're trying to get better at that young age. So it definitely is a must at a certain age, but there's no necessarily a reason for to be 8 years old playing 120 in the summer. That's a lot of baseball, and they need to be a kid. What's the day-to-day life in the majors compared to the farm system? Hashtag bus rides.
Thankfully didn't. Yeah. Thankfully didn't spend too much time down there, just because it's different, man. It's a grind. Usually it seems to be hotter or colder everywhere you go in the minor leagues. Down in Mississippi, in the summer, that ain't no joke.
Bacon.
And still having to get your fundamentals in every day. Not when you get to the big leagues, you stop doing that stuff, but every day it's no choice. It's not optional. You're out there taking ground ball after ground ball after ground ball and hitting on the field and just going through the grind, more or less sink or swim type deal. But I would say the biggest differences are how we travel. Obviously, in the minor leagues, it's bus rides, overnight bus rides, that whole thing. Versus, obviously, in the big leagues, it's chartered flights everywhere. And then you stay at, obviously, the nicest hotels. And then I would say just the other obvious one is is food. At least from my experience, is food. Obviously, we get food from the nicest restaurants. You're in big cities, so you can eat from any and all restaurants. Like the best available thing ain't like a Cracker Barrel or Outback, which nothing against them, but it's not, a high end steakhouse or something, in New York where it's you
Chili's
literally
or
have
something.
millions. Yeah, Applebee's or something like that. But yeah, I would say those are like the biggest differences for me in terms of just like the lifestyle.
Okay. Got another interesting question. If you could play a baseball game in any stadium, doesn't have to be a baseball stadium, what would it be?
Well, a baseball game in any stadium.
Any stadium. And let's go ahead and say that it's going to be a sold out crowd.
Mm.
Imagine you getting in the box and old Brian Denny, or in a whiteout at Penn State.
You call them the Dogs.
Dude, that is so hard. One of the first ones that comes to mind for me is just because we used to play on MVP baseball is like Polo Grounds. Like if that was still around, where it's like, I'm pretty sure that's where Willie Mays made that catch. Where it's like 550 feet to center field, but like 230 down the lines.
Yeah,
like something like that would be kind of dope.
Yeah.
What about?
That's a good question.
Did they do the Field of Dreams game this year?
I
can't remember if they did.
They might. I don't know who's in it.
I feel like that would be a cool game to play in too.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to.
Honestly, I mean, dude, the London series, like in terms of like crowd and stadium, was pretty lit. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, so I could only imagine like some
PSL
like Brian Denny. You know what I mean? Like if you like played. If you could have that atmosphere of 110,000 people or whatever,
yeah, you guys running onto the field to enter the Sandman or something, just getting absolutely
right.
Dancy comes running
awesome.
down the hill at Clemson.
Dude, that'd be electric. Or that's in play.
Yeah, just like the Rock. Just like it's like a random sprinkler head on the golf course. You just actually hit it off the rock. That'd be a good one.
Oh, that's funny. That's a great question.
Yeah, I got another really good question for you boys coming from the mailman. They want to know if we could be any type of animal, what would we be?
Oh, this is easy.
Okay, you go then.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
Dog, I'm being a lion. I'm a lion.
See, that was like that was
doubt.
the one. But I mean, my dog's got a pretty sweet life.
Yeah.
Being a pup wouldn't be too bad of a job.
Yeah, you have no responsibility.
You were kicking
you just
it.
Eat when they tell you to eat.
Meals provided.
There's no competition.
Meals
There's no
provided.
one coming to your domain looking to take over.
Sleep about 18 hours a day. It's not a bad gig.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being a golden
days,
retriever.
seeing your people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A golden retriever would be a nice little gig.
Yeah, because I originally had thought about a lion. Golden retriever would be sweet.
Trying to think of some other cool ones. Like a bald.
What about like a great white shark? Like what about like
a bald
eagle would be pretty sweet. You could like soar around, big old talons.
Yeah.
Just majestic.
The great white shark would be cool, but I just saw a video of a great white shark getting killed by an orca.
Yeah, the orcas don't play, bro.
Behaviors, but
what about being an orca?
Orcas don't play.
Any orca that's not
predator.
in SeaWorld, I'm in. Yeah.
I'm going lion though, like no cap.
Favorite place to eat in Chicago?
Oof. Yo, just because it's on my mind. I mean, whenever people come here and they're like, "Hey, where should I go eat?" I typically suggest Buffets. It's a steakhouse. We went to Tivoli Tavern, which is also very good.
Fantastic.
Owned by the same people. There's a place called Abba that's Greek food that we really like. But we went to this place called Daisy's the other day that was they had them desserts on lock.
Yeah.
Boy.
I feel like you're still pretty fresh, bro. You probably got a lot of places to try still.
Yes. And me and Mal are bad about we know what we're gonna get from certain places, so we
it's
just
the routine,
go.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But that Trivoli's Tavern.
Come on, mailman.
Yeah, Trivoli's Tavern
There's
was
so many
bumping, though.
questions, dude. It's hard to be the mailman.
You're making it look pretty hard, brother.
Yeah,
I thought you did this.
I can't
I'm sure it
believe
is
I thought you
hard.
did this as like a career.
No,
I'm sure
no,
this
no,
is
no.
hard.
I've
Just
never
ask
delivered
questions.
mail before.
Ask questions.
Well, while you find a good question, hey, we just give a shout out to our boy Mitch, newly engaged.
Oh man,
Shout out.
Oh, slick, Che. We still
Yeah.
got the decorations in the mug.
I was waiting for a good time to just toss it in there, and here we are.
Thanks.
yeah.
Here we are.
What a great congratulations, max contract deal. It's big news
Yep.
for you.
No trade
Yes.
clause.
No trade
No
clause.
trade clause. Yeah, that's a big one.
She's
That
literally
is a big
staring at me right now.
She might try to get a trade clause in
Yeah,
there now.
yeah. She might work that in.
How does it feel? Does it affect you when you're playing in a hostile crowd or in a tough like playoff atmosphere? Do you hear the fans? Do you really feel them? Does it affect your gameplay at all?
I mean, I feel like every athlete would typically just be like, no, it doesn't affect me. But at the end of the day, like, you see it time and time and time again. I mean, home teams typically have advantages in playoffs because of intensity of crowds and what it does more so for the home team. And that it's almost, that's how I look at it, is not that it necessarily throws you off your game, but it just feels like it really, really elevates the play of the home team. You know what I mean? So it makes it tougher on you because they're playing better typically. You know what I mean?
Feeding off that
That's kind of how I see it.
I'll add to that though. What are some of like the most electric places you've played?
Well, I mean, Philly in the playoffs.
That was the first one that came to mind too.
Was pretty bonkers. Obviously, I mean, they've shown that. I think they have the best like home field advantage in baseball by the numbers. I'm sure Yankee Stadium during playoffs is pretty electric. I mean, Houston wasn't quiet either,
No.
though. You know,
Until Soler hit that bomb.
oof, or a pin drop.
Bye.
Atlanta does a great job too. Like,
Yeah, those games were lit.
those games, I mean, they find a place. If you want to come in the game, like, they gonna find a place to put you, even if it's standing room only. So, I think anywhere in the playoffs is pretty awesome.
Well, then you got like just
I'm excited for what Wrigley's.
the extra whatever 2,000 people just outside of the stadium watching on the screen and stuff too.
If baseball was not your career path, what would you be doing?
Probably be in this game 7 hooping for the Nuggets or somebody.
Oh my god! I knew he was gonna say some crap like that.
If you couldn't be a professional athlete, what would you do? Sell insurance?
Dude, I really don't know. Honestly, don't like. I feel like
That would be.
I would.
That boy be.
I would probably coach. I would
Do you
probably
coach?
be a coach of.
Hey, don't sleep on.
I
Don't sleep with
I would imagine
CEO of
so.
Sports Print.
yeah. Hey, your boy might be running sports print, taking over for Mr. Cooter.
Yeah.
Something sports related though.
Yeah, would have to be.
I'd see my boy like in finance or something though.
Corporate
Wearing a
don't seem
wearing a suit.
Ugh. Every day. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's tough luck right there. What is the one thing you have learned about yourself this season that you were not expecting?
That's a great question.
See, that's why I had to search for these good mailbag questions. Got a full bag.
Probably how much.
Honestly, we're gonna have to come back to that one. Do y'all have something in y'all's season of life that you've learned? That's a great question.
Just entering in this new engaged life is just working alongside someone, being a team.
Mm-hmm. Good answer. Good answer. Especially if she's right
She
there.
is right
Good
here.
answer.
She is right here.
Yeah, that's a
Good
great
answer,
answer.
good answer.
That's a great answer.
It's like Family Feud. Good answer.
And she just makes it
Yes,
so
yes.
easy. It's just so easy.
Yeah, I would just say something similar, like keeping the main thing, and what, like, just learning what, what is truly important in life and what really matters and like what makes life as great as it is. And then once you find that and you realize that, keep it that way. And just, I would say too, with this season, like season of life for me is just being appreciative of our group and the guys we got and what we got going on. Because as I was talking to someone at a wedding last night, it as you get older, there's a lot of things that happen, and you need a
Mm-hmm.
good group of guys or people to lean on and help you out through that, because it's not, life isn't easy and it's not meant to be, and that's okay. And if you have a good group, it makes it a little bit better. So I've really
Facts.
learned that, you know, this year for
It
me.
it I think simplification, and this is just like in like life in general. And I'll get to baseball in a second, but I would say simplification, like people that matter are your family, and then obviously like friends that you feel are family would be those two, and then obviously like your relationship with your wife and kids if you have kids, and doing the Lord's work,
Yep.
like just keeping the main thing the main thing. I'd say baseball though, what I've really been challenged with is adaptability, because like I've gotten to this point in my career because I've done things a certain way and been really successful at them, and then those same kind of things, trying to like do the same things, haven't produced the same results, not only like mentally but physically, and like even not like physically like my swing, but like physically like my body and everything, having to get out of like some stubborn ways and trying to do some things a little bit different to put myself in a better place to be successful. So I would say that's been a real challenge for me to hear, is like the willingness to adapt and like be wise almost, like learning wisdom. Like I feel like that's a way to learn it, because I'm having to make adjustments.
Yeah. We'll do a couple more. What's the mentality and the mindset that it's like, being injured and being put on, leave? Is what's it like being, with the team, away from the team? How do you keep the right mindset of trying to transition to coming back as you go through this process?
Rehab life sucks, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and not because of the ways that you're thinking about it, dude. It's hard. Like,
Yeah.
you grind because it's treatment for an hour, it's weight room for an hour, it's then base, like you're doing like full days every day. So that in itself can be hard at times. But I've really tried to take this time to like use it as like a mental like refresher. You know what I mean? Like you can see things from a little bit of a different perspective because you're not in it. Like you're in it, but you're doing it from the outside a little bit. Like you're able to just watch baseball and in a way slow things down and like start to piece things together here and there, and like understand how the game's changing, evolving, and how you can get better. So that's kind of like where I'm at in that headspace. It just gives you a clearer picture because you can like, it's almost like, okay, now I can look at this from like a 30,000 foot view instead of only seeing kind of like what's right in front of me.
If we got two more questions here. If you had to pick any moment of your baseball career, could be from,
Mm-hmm.
6 years old to now, what would be some of your favorite moments you've experienced on the field?
I can I can rip a couple off rip like real quick. Uh,
Okay.
in college,
Why
win
don't
the World Series in
I was gonna
college.
say, why don't you do one like, I don't know,
Each
high school,
section.
college, pro, yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe
I'll do
maybe
so
youngsters.
winning like as a team, win the college World Series in 2014, and obviously winning the World Series in 2021. Like in terms of like team accomplishments, that was pretty. That's about as like special as it gets, and I don't even think that has to be like covered.
Right.
There was an inning in regionals my junior year where I like hit a go-ahead two-run homer in the ninth inning of a really big game, and then made like one of the best plays of my life, uh, like in the bottom half of the inning, in the ninth, to we ended up winning. It was against Indiana. So like individually, that's one of the cooler moments in college. And then in the big leagues, I would say both my homers in the World Series in 21. Obviously, one to tie, and then one to
Gronk.
and then the one in Houston that was like another pin drop type situation.
Oh yeah.
I just wish I had like a video of y'all. Like that's all I really ever wanted was a video
I don't
of
even.
y'all.
I
can go watch that replay.
I don't even.
I can't watch y'all.
Dude, the one in Atlanta, I vividly remember because I was there with Lexi and we were sitting somewhere else or whatever. And of course people were running their mouths in the stadium, and then you hit that home run, and I was not stopping talking at any moment. I was letting the good people know that we were here and I was defending you. I was trying to take little Swanson jerseys off of the kids and dads who were running their mouth. I was trying to go through this. And then in Houston, Mitch, and Zach and Chase were very active.
Yeah.
When you hit that bomb.
And we were next to Chavi's parents or dad.
Oh yeah,
and he joined.
They were
the festivities
also very excited.
too.
Yeah.
I love that.
He started the festivities early.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
I don't know. I blacked out.
It's so a lot. I just remember like when we won the World Series, Mitchell, Zach, and I were sitting there, just like watching you all get on the stage, and we're like, "Did we really just win the World Series?"
Emphasis on we.
Yeah, emphasis on we and us.
We
like,
as a group.
Did we
unit.
just do that? Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's just such a wild thing, and then like just every bit of that experience was just insane. But we got our last question for the night. Last question coming out of the mailbag. I know that we were not name dropping people, but we got one from _Collins56 to be the nightcap on the evening.
Is that Big Cody?
Is this gonna be like who's the biggest contacts on my phone?
Nope, this is not.
Okay.
Me.
Cody wants to know: are we the first advanced civilization to live on Earth? Thoughts on that, boys?
Wait, who asked this question?
Cody Collins.
Cody.
Of course.
Yeah, bringing out the big guns.
No.
No.
Don't think so. No.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Yes. _Collins56 wants to know.
Well, when you say we, are we the first?
Who is he referring to as we?
Yes, correct. Cody, I need more specific questions, brother.
Let's get him on the phones.
Yeah, we can call him.
That's an interesting question. It says, are we the first advanced civilization to live on Earth?
Nah.
You don't think so?
I mean,
the better question, this is are we as advanced as we ever, is this the most advanced we've ever been? That's a better question. But I also believe the answer is no.
Egyptians
I'm going to say
cooking.
no. And I'm going to say because of the pyramids.
Yeah, the pyramids got everybody's head in a pretzel.
Well, I mean, the Incans and the Mayans, and
yeah,
there's pyramids everywhere, brother, and they all like very oddly align.
Perfect.
With some things that I don't know how anyone could know that.
We still haven't found Atlantis. I'm just saying.
Yeah. This is not a rabbit hole we need to go down this podcast.
No,
really start looking different.
Yeah.
We don't need Dansby. This is one time we don't need Dansby to cook.
So I'm gonna shift here, and I'm gonna say, are we like, if you took like us? Well, maybe not us. If you took someone from this generation in time, and you put them back into like the 1400s. Do you think that they are more intelligent than that person that's living in the 1400s?
Intelligent mentally, I'd say, but like survival skills, probably no.
So that's the question. If it's not, if hunting, they can't, like,
I mean, like it depends, but
all their knowledge comes from technology. But I couldn't tell you how to build an iPhone.
Correct.
So if I just said, yeah, we got these phones where I can press a button and I can FaceTime someone, they'd be like, okay, well, how do you make that? Like, no idea, brother.
They'll probably say, "Well, what use is that to me?"
Exactly. Like, oh yeah, well, can you show me how to grow?
Watch this
corn
smoke
right
screen, or watch this smoke signal.
Yeah.
Can you shoot a bow and arrow?
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Like they're like, well, what skills is that? What knowledge is that really?
Yeah,
Interesting thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that comes back.
That was a great mailbag.
Yeah, it was a good mailbag. We'll continue to do
Thanks,
that.
mailman.
Yeah, good looks, mailman.
Yeah, not a problem. Not
High
a problem.
expectations for the next one because
I mean,
you made it look a little difficult there at times.
We got those questions in about 15 minutes.
Out 10 minutes ago. Yeah. I didn't anticipate
first time reading through those bad boys.
It's my first time going through the route, brother. I'm just now figuring out which houses are mine. Next time we're going to be dialed in and we're going to have the right mailbag. It's going to be appropriate because we're going to put it out days before and I'm going to have my questions down.
Perfect. Easy.
So yeah, I guess we'll see y'all in the next episode on the next time, and we appreciate it.
You're
Thanks, folks.